This is the book of First Peter. This is the book of First Peter, chapter 4. I'm gonna start at verse 1. Point is verse 7. For much, for as much then as Mashiach hath suffered, ha- for as much then as Mashiach hath suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin. So scriptures talk about despise not the chastisement of the Lord. Because basically, you know, it talks about the Most High trying the hearts, you know, and basically, you know, you have those that believe in His truth that are suffering now, so we're not judged with the world. Verse 2, that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh of the lust of men, but to the will of the Most High. For the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, revelings, banqueting, and abominable idolatries, wherein they think it strange that ye run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. The people that you used to deal with in the world look at it as a strange thing. Scriptures talk about um, basically you make yourself a prey when you do part of evil or wickedness, roughly paraphrased. You know, scriptures talk about the foolishness of preaching. People look at this as a foolish thing, but at the same time, it talks about it please the Most High by us doing this. And this is our reasonable sacrifice. Week in, week out in the highways and hedges, dealing with the elements, dealing with these wicked ass evil spirits that jump on and off of these niggas. Verse 5, who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead? It says that every man shall have to give account of what he has done in the flesh. Verse 6, for this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to the Most High in the Spirit. Verse 7, the point, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. I want to start off by giving all praise, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rachakatam. I want to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing his truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. And say shalom to the Akwath as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of the other nations, appearing like the other nations, but whom subscribe to this truth. To you, I say shalom. It's your brother Yahweh Sop out of the GMS Cleveland Church, fellow servant, and I'm coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit and through the power of Yahweh Shemel Shai. And I was looking for a lesson through the Spirit. I came across this article on my Newsbreak app. It says 3 banks have failed, and why others might follow. And it's not going to be might, it's going to be, it will be. It's going to come to pass. Just like the scriptures talk about all the prophecies in this book coming to pass. Oh. It says Salaki, I was just threw off. Talks about the Most High God is not a liar, and basically how the scriptures talk about how all these things will be fulfilled. The scriptures talk about how the Most High declared the end from the beginning. It says 3 U.S. banks collapsed in a week. Here's why others might follow. The current crisis started on March 8th, and you see how that's written right there. It says started, because you got to understand what this system is built on is nothing but lies. You're taught that money is a piece of paper, when that's not the case. The scriptures tell you what real money is. The scriptures tell you that Abraham was blessed, because he had, substance. He had gold, silver, land. He had slaves. While people sit up there and say that slavery is it's not a good thing. When, you know what I mean, it's not a good thing when it comes to other nations, but it was okay for your nation to be a slave. When you got slavery that still goes on today, you know, slavery is actually in the Bible. But anyhow, you had when basically Israel had nations in slavery, and you had Israel in slavery throughout the Bible. So, because that's how much of a rebellious nation Israel is. But again, being raised up and reared up in Babylon, you're taught that this paper money is real money, and it's not. Real money is gold, silver, land, substance. Why do you think the government doesn't really allow you to own land? You can own a house, but you pay taxes on the house. Why is that? Because you don't own the land. The current crisis started on March 8th with Silvergate's announcement that it was winding down its operations after its customers fled. The LA Jolla California Bank served primarily the cryptocurrency industry. And it's funny how the cryptocurrency industry is being, rustled, the feathers of it being ruffled. Ruffled. Because, you had that collapse of that, that cryptocurrency, FTX or whatever. And now you got this bank that has to deal with cryptocurrency. And if you could, you got the spiritual eye salve to see, you got to remember the government is trying to push their own brand of cryptocurrency, where they're going to make their cryptocurrency the only cryptocurrency legit and basically ban all the rest of them, which is going to all tie into that MOTB and the CHIP, that's spoken of in Revelation chapter 16. 2 days later, U.S. regulators closed Silicon Valley Bank. Then the government had to get involved, the FDIC. And the thing is this, people put their faith in so many different things, but the Most High God. When all of this that's taking place is scriptural, you know what I mean? Again, the Most High says he declares the end from the beginning. Isaiah chapter 46, verse 10. On March 12th, regulators closed Signature Bank in New York over fears it was running out of cash because customers were withdrawing their money in piles. And I don't know, speaking as a man, I can see that, something approaching, but I can't say how long before something happens, you know what I mean? But that's a major blow. You got to understand how the financial system works. Our money that we utilize is, or the money that we utilize is a fiat currency, So it's not real money, you know what I mean? And every fiat currency that's ever been introduced has failed. That's facts, and that's history. You can go look up. So what makes this one any different from any other one? And actuality, when you see, again, they're trying to bring in a totally different new system. It says that the bank was focused on cryptocurrency clients. Bank collapse. What exactly happened here? So they're going to tell you what happened. What happened was basically you had the bank saying that they had to pay something. They were going to utilize the clients or the depositors' money, and the depositors basically withdrew their money. And that just proves to you, showing you how, that's called a bank run. So you got bank runs when the depositors take their money out, and you got bank runs when basically the banks don't allow depositors to get their money. And, you've had bank runs in other countries already where the banks won't allow depositors to get to their money. That's all on YouTube. Well, this is and that just show you how phony and fraudulent the system is. Because if your money was really back, they're using your money to literally make more money off of. That's a form of witchcraft when you take time to think about it. Because basically you give them money and they give you like a slip saying that they got your money. But if you ever talk to somebody that actually has money, I ain't talking about a couple $1,000 or $10,000 or $15,000. I'm talking about people that actually have money. While people laugh at the truth and the brotherhood, you got all kind of men in this truth from all walks of life. So I've talked to brothers that got money, you know what I mean? And like brother was just saying that, like, he went to go basically take money out and he had to go through all these loopholes. You see it on TV. You know, what's that guy, Black Youngster, that was part of CMB, Yo Gotti label, and they show that video where he went to go take out like 200,000, and basically the police pulled up on him. And they took half of it and gave him the other half. Now you gotta worry about, the one brother was telling me about that. He like basically they get to asking you why you taking out your money, because once you sign up for bank accounts, all in that fine print is no longer your money like that. This is what happened to most of these banks. They made bets without really paying attention to the risk. And they're going to try and say, and that's why you got Biden on the news talking about how, basically the banks and the investors, basically they're trying to say the people's money is going to be secure, while these investors and banks, if they suffer losses, is going to affect them and not the people. Which, I mean, at the end of the day, that sounded like some bullshit to me. And if you fall for that, the scriptures talk about never trust thine enemy. This is the same man that broke every treaty he did with the so-called Native Americans, which are the tribes of Gad and Reuben. Every agreement, every peace treaty, every time they was fighting, and then they said, "Oh, please stop. Let's come to peace." Then they'll be the ones to break the treaty. This is fact. So why the fuck would you believe it? That's just like you putting your money in the stock market and you lose everything. The government don't back that shit. You know what I mean? Oh, they'll say that's different. No, it's not. But interest rates jumped as the Fed since. Look, I hate reading these articles offline because they just type anything. Since 2021 has been fighting inflation. Since bond prices fall as interest rates rise, those old bonds with low interest rates could be sold only at much lower prices than new bonds that carry higher rates. And mortgages like those in which SVB invested are even more sensitive, because when interest rates go up, people tend not to pay off their mortgage early by refinancing. During the pandemic, tech startups were doing well, but coming out of the pandemic, the economy slowed. Right. You had these tech companies, like you had those, app gigs, them app-based jobs, which are being affected by this, by the way, because of the fact, the bank in Silicon Valley was, Silicon Valley is the tech industry. And if you paid attention within the last, 6 months, the tech industry has been the ones laying off the biggest, like Google, Facebook, things like that. You got a tech bubble. You got all these different bubbles. You got a housing bubble, a car bubble. It's 1,000 bubbles going on right now. What happens? This is the bubble that popped. How are banks reacting, and what? And this is probably some bullshit. I mean, I just really kind of grabbed this. I got another article where it talks about it's like 5 more banks that's struggling right now. So again, it ain't. They might, is when they will. You know what I mean? And when you go into the FDIC, basically, when you put money into the bank, your money is supposed to be insured up to $250,000. Well, the people that was the depositors of this bank, they put in way more than $250,000. So if anything, if the money had got lost, they were only going to be insured up to $250,000. But they might have had 25 million in there. You get what I'm saying? Like when you go into how much money was withdrawn within, I think they withdrew like certain amount of billions within a couple days. And that's why that happened. Because this system is based on some fraudulent fiat currency. It's not real money. So with that all being said, I'm going to get Habakkuk chapter 2, and I'm going to start at verse 1, and it reads, I will stand upon my watch and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And, we on our watch because we watching for these prophecies. If you're a man of the Lord, you label yourself a man of the Lord, that means you in these scriptures and you matching up what's going on in the world with what the scriptures say, It says verse 2, and the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua answered me and said, write the vision, meaning the prophecies, and make it plain upon tables. This is have to be complicated. You ain't got to be trying to be like T.I. using these big over exaggerated words. You just, you say it plainly and make it plain upon tables that he may run that read of it. Because we out here doing a job, you're trying to warn your people. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for a appointed time, meaning the prophecy but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry, because it'll be seeming like certain prophecies start, stop. You know, like with this whole Russia-Ukraine thing. Well, I'll tell you something that your neighborhood pork chop eating pastor probably has never said in church since you've been going. That what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, that's all biblical prophecy. You know, that's why Russia basically has things written up where they say that, you know, Russia's fighting Ukraine and America right now. They're just not making it known that they're fighting America right now. You know, it's a proxy war, but it's going to spill over to an actual World War III, and that's in the Bible. You know, so it looks like it's starting to stop. And, you know, show you how spiritual it is. Just the other day, two Russia fighter pilots just knocked down an American drone. You had all kind of shit flying over America that they were saying was China air surveillance and all. I mean, verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Whose soul is not upright? Is this red Hebrew Edomite, who you people ignorantly call the so-called white man, who's really red. His soul is not upright. So why would you believe what this devil say? Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, meaning his philosophy. This is the devil that will tell you that it's okay to, you know, the Bible is outdated and, you know, that's old time, and a man could be with a man and a woman, it's okay to be with a woman, and, you know, all these different things that's basically blasphemous to the scriptures. And that's why the Most High God is going to judge this place. He is a proud man. You had that devil, Noah Yuval Harari, literally say the God of the Bible, we have outpassed and outgrown the God of the Bible, a man in the sky. All this shit. And you know, what people don't understand is they look upon the Most High God like he has no power because, you know, people say blasphemous things and things aren't not, you know, you don't see the end result of them. Scriptures talk about because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. You know, the scriptures call the Most High God the King of Terrors. Calls him the King of Terrors. So the Most High God can make something seem like it lasts for eternity. You know, you ever seen somebody just seem like everything that they touch just going bad? You know, it breaks. That's when people just lose their fucking mind. And these people gonna lose their mind. You know, these people basically have been fattened up by, you know, how America runs. You can eat all fucking day. You know, women got all this fucking pride to just talk to a man any kind of way. You got in other countries, women get raped in broad fucking daylight. You got in other countries where children like don't survive, you know what I mean? To become babies and shit like that. Like, these people ain't gonna know what the fuck about to hit them. Verse 5, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he's a proud man, neither he keepeth at home. This devil is in everybody fucking land. You know, that's funny. You know, Joe Biden told China they can't basically help Russia, which is basically, you know, they got deals together. They they allies. But you helping Ukraine. This is the hypocrisy of the fucking devil. That's like a nigga telling you stay in a building. You know what I mean? And they play their music. You know what I mean? Like just the mindset of some motherfuckers, man. It says, who enlargeth his desires hell. He's a covetous man, so he wants everything. When the scriptures tell you that the Most High God allotted lands to each nation. See, it's man's idea that everybody should come together and be as one people. That was never scriptural. The Bible tells you the Most High God allotted everybody their land. And he is as deaf. You know, and if you can't see that, look at this concoction he came up with, and now these people just falling out. And nobody seems to put one with two. You know what I mean? Like, it's just people just, you know, now you got something called sudden death syndrome. Really? You ain't had this shit 4 years ago, sudden death syndrome. Was since, you know, they done took this jump shot shit. Yeah, a lot of people been says, and cannot be satisfied, but gather unto him all nations and heap unto him all people. Because he wants everybody to be. This man really has the mindset of the Most High. He think he really trying to be like the Most High. That's why Ezekiel chapter 28 talks about trying to be as God. Verse 6, this is the point. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his. How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay, which is abatya. Abatya. And basically, see, I should have got out the blue letter. But when you read it out the blue letter, it basically goes into debts. Where you see it say pawn goods, but in the blue letter, it'll say debts. So this US dollar is a debt note. That's why it talks about illegal tender for debts. You know what I mean? And this basically US dollar, which is basically the petrodollar, which if you want to move petroleum anywhere in the world, you got to convert your money into US dollars in order to do that. And that's what made America wax so great. But now you got these different countries that's basically going around that petrodollar. They're making side deals and, you know, that's what look like. For instance, people don't even understand the significance of what this situation is going on with America and Russia's doing to the world right now. Look at your gas bill. People paying $300 for gas. What you think it's going to be like next year? So, you know, because this debt note it was set up to fail, all to ensnare everyone into this beast-like system. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 6. And the point is verse 6, and it reads, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. And when you go into that word penny, it's basically the Latin word denarius. And when you go into denarius, basically it was the day's pay for a Roman soldier. So it says a measure of wheat for a penny. So it's going to take a day's wage to buy bread. That's how much the money going to fail. Now, when you go into, Genesis chapter 47, we know America is likened on to modern day Egypt, and people say, well, how? Because when you go into certain things that America, carbon copied, certain societies, secret societies, when you go into ancient Egypt dealt with the color red, white, and blue. You had female rights. That's why you had women pharaohs. You had birth control. That's why you see in certain articles where they talk about they found the old used rubber on the King Tut. All this bullshit. I think they had beer in ancient Egypt. They had a lot of things that was similar to America. Birth control. So we know through the spirit that America is likened on to Egypt, because Egypt simply means bondage. Egypt is the Greek word for basically the word that landmass was called Mizraim. Egypt is the Greek way of how the Edomites were saying it. This is Genesis chapter 47. The point is verse 15, and it reads, and when money failed in the land of Egypt and in the land of Canaan, all Egyptians came unto Joseph and said, give us bread, for why should we die in thy presence? For the money faileth. So that money failed then, and that's how Joseph was able to basically get all, when it came down to it, because it was a famine in the land, basically the people sold everything they had to the point they sold themselves. And that's what this devil is banking on, because this devil reads the scriptures too. So he's going to use the shortage of food and, how does it go? I think it's in Job. It said a man to sell all things for his life, roughly paraphrased. But the script, that's why the Most High says, precious is the death of the saints in the Most High's eyes. Because if you give up your life for the Most High, that's precious to him. What's this? I am so tired, Salaki. I read that. That's the point. So at the end of the day, this devil has a game plan to try and bring in his NWO. But it tells you in the book of Job, I believe chapter 12, the deceived and the deceiver are both his. So, you're going to have people that's going to get caught up in, Esau's, because Esau he's a cunning hunter. You know what I mean? When you go into subtle, that means crafty. He's shrewd. So you're going to have people get caught up in it, but he also setting this devil up to get caught up and taking in his own device. So, with that being said, I'm going to end the lesson. If you're so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of your power, whose true name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, or you will be judged and destroyed. I don't know how, but again, when you read the book of Job, chapter 18, it calls the Most High God the King of Terrors. So he got a way. Everybody got the specific way of being saved or destroyed. And with that, I'm going to end the lesson. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to call Elohim La Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rachakadosh. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of the great millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing the truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akim and the Akwaf out here listening and learning. Lord, willingly, this was edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to the truth. To you, I say shalom. Till next time I'm able to come with another lesson. Shalom, shalom. Mawat lababah. Shalom.